Hello, you guys. This is Mr. Adkins coming to you again from the art studio. I have another video for you. This one is more to explain what we're going to be doing for the next 9 weeks. I didn't want to overload people with a lot of details early on, but many of you seem like you would do better if you can start with the end in mind. So to that end, I'm going to let you know kind of where we're going for the next 9 weeks. Not all the details and the nuts and the bolts of it, but just a general overview of where you're going to be going in your art classes. I'd like to start off with the next 2 weeks. Every art student, beginning art students, junior high, high school, advanced art students, will be making video art tutorials for the next 2 weeks. I think that is important to have every student involved in this, because we all are coming at this from different levels and different angles. And I believe my junior high art students have something valid to offer. My Art 1 students have valid things to offer. My advanced art students, we're all in this together, and we've all got really good ideas that we need to be able to share with these video tutorials. Every student will create an art tutorial for the first 2 weeks, and some of the content may include digital art, maybe a video on Photoshop, Blender, anything on the Adobe Creative Cloud. Our technology department got that put on all our devices, and it's perfect for this kind of a situation. There's still IBIS Paint. IBIS Paint is also very nice because it has the screen record built into the app. So you'd be able to make a nice little soothing art video of people watching you make your art projects on the screen. And also Adobe Fresco, which is part of the Creative Cloud, is hugely important, big deal. If you're not into the traditional, not traditional, the digital art, maybe you had enough of that on the last 9 weeks. Maybe you want to give us a nice tutorial on traditional art. For example, lots of drawing. A lot of our students would really benefit for some drawing videos from their peers. You could talk about proportion, shading, perspective, all these kinds of fantastic drawing things. We'd love to get tutorials on those. This is also a great opportunity to do some more crafty art projects, some do-at-home art projects, things that involve items that are easily found at home. You know, you may have a hard time getting canvases and acrylic paints and saws and wood lathes, but you can get toilet paper rolls, you can get cardboard boxes and duct tape. There are things that you have at your house that would be similar to what other people have at their houses, and you can make a great project for your classmates, for some students that are younger than you, or even for some younger kiddos that are at home with their parents that need a nice art project from us. That's going to be our first 2 weeks. This first week you will do your original tutorial video. I'll have a look at it and tell you all the things that are wonderful with it, things that you want to improve on, things that you want to add more. This is great, do this more. And then the second week we'll do our second video, and we'll have that improved version after getting some feedback. That's the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, all of my students are on different branches of their little journey, different paths that we're going to take. So first, let me talk about the beginning art students, but this also applies to the advanced art students. So this is still everyone. So listen up. After the first 2 weeks of making video tutorials, you're not required to make any more video tutorials unless you love it. If you're one of those people that you're like, oh my gosh, I found my calling, I want to be a YouTube star, and making these tutorials is easy and fun, please make some more. I'll try to get them out for the world to see. If you're doing what you need to do on the tutorials and then you're ready to move on to other art projects, here are your options. You can also create a satisfying or a soothing art video of you creating art. For example, you could speed draw on IBIS Paint and put that to music with music in the background, or you could film yourself doing a traditional artwork and maybe speed that up and put it to some music for people to watch, not necessarily as a tutorial for them to know how to make that project, but just something fun for them to be able to see and be able to showcase your talents while they're at home. You can do that with drawing, painting, carving, sculpting, any kind of art project that you do. You can put that together and make a nice soothing video. You've seen those online. You know what I'm talking about. You can create an art project using another student's tutorial. Once we have this library of tutorials, I'm going to throw them on our YouTube channel, our Facebook, and Google Classroom. So if you're sitting at home and you're like, man, I really don't know what to do, you can go through that database. You can find one that's either through a buddy of yours or a project that you like, and you can use our tutorials and make that your art project for the week. And then you just send me a picture of the finished art project on that Friday. It's another easy option for you guys. In addition, there are some professional tutorials that are totally valid for this time. I will give you a link to the official Adobe Photoshop tutorials. They're the tutorials that my digital art students have been using to learn how to do Photoshop professionally. And I don't mind opening that up to the entire student body. I think if you're interested in Photoshop and you've got the time and you've got the internet at home, this is a fantastic time for you to dig down and drill into Photoshop. In addition, I'm also going to give you a link to my favorite guru blender. His name is Andrew Price. And he is the, not guru blender, blender guru. He's the guy that knows everything about Blender. He's the one that taught me how to get started in Blender. And if you've got the time and the internet at home, we've all got access to Blender on our MacBooks. If you're a junior high student and you're at home, you possibly have a home computer that you can get Blender in on there. And I say use this time and become a Blender master. So your options are create an art tutorial if you love making tutorials, make some sort of a satisfying or a soothing art video for people to watch and enjoy with music in the background, make an art project using other students' tutorials, highly recommended, and then our official Photoshop or Blender tutorials, I'll give you links to those. So that's kind of overwhelming, but I did that because we're all different. Every student is different, every situation is different, and I want you to be able to choose a valid, important thing for you to do that's the best use of your time. And the person who is in the best position to know what the best thing for you to do is you. So you're driving. Now that's for all of my beginning art students. That would be junior high and Art 1 students. Anyone that's in advanced art has those options available to them in addition to a few more. They are all these options. Your independent study. Many of my art students in advanced art have been gearing up. They've been preparing and planning and researching for what they thought was going to be 9 weeks of doing their independent study in the art classes. For my seniors, this is called the capstone project. This is like their pièce de résistance. It's their way to show the world their best art and what they've learned throughout their entire school career. It's the cherry on top. Some possibilities for that are a Blender project, an Adobe Creative Cloud project, anything with Photoshop or Illustrator or any of the other dozens of Photoshop and Adobe programs that we've got. And that's also a traditional art project. If you have the materials, if you have the ability and the capability at home to do a traditional independent study project, a traditional capstone project, then please go for it. For that independent study option, you're going to have to submit periodic check-ins with me. It's like those snapshots that we do, where on Friday you'll send me pictures of your work, you'll send me images of you doing it, maybe movies or anything that shows me what you're working on for this independent study, this capstone project. And there will probably be a narrative, something you need to write to explain what's going on as well. I think this is a very valid very valid option for my advanced art students, it's not the only option. Those other tutorials and the speed draws and the other smaller projects, they may fit you better. You may be in a situation where it's easier for you to follow a video tutorial every week or to make a smaller project every week as opposed to having a huge capstone art project. I'm not where you are. I don't know what your situation is, and it's kind of going to be up to you to decide which of these options is best for you. I'm going to make videos like this for many of the points that I put out on Google Classroom, but most of the videos will be very similar to the written parts that I put out there. I'd like for students that don't have great internet or access reliably to good, strong Wi-Fi to be able to just read the document that's on Google Classroom. And if you're not able to watch the video, it shouldn't really hurt you as far as trying to do your art projects. So I think you guys need to remember to be creative, to be safe, and for the love, wash your hands.